Okay, so here confluences we had yesterday's high, first leg M, second leg M with an evening star. Entries right there, TPs on the next liquidity zone, which was the Asian lows. This was the setup. So I'm just marking out setup which we could have traded since I was off the charts. So EU, we should have a W. It's just basically the opposite of the dollar index. So we've got the previous day's low, yesterday's low, second leg of the W with the morning star pattern, TP either on the London highs or on the Asian highs. So I'm just going to mark all the setups and turn them into flashcards. Safe entry at the close of that candle. Just going to drop down to a smaller time frame. Just want to check the structure here. Okay. Stop loss outside the range, TP either here or here. Okay, so this is an EU buy. Oh, I believe we're the news event as well, so that's why the price moved. We had a news event. This was 14:30, so gold started to move earlier. Trying to check for confluences here. We had a V bottom near the previous day's lows. This would have been maybe a bit hard to catch because it didn't present a second leg. But anyways, safe entry at the break of this order block. $15.30 candle. Price pulled back to the order block here to retest before it pushed up. So this would have been a possible entry if we were looking at gold. And the take profits, it's probably pushing for this zone we have here, but I think we would have used the Asian highs, London highs, or the previous day's high as a TP. Would have TP'd somewhere there. A 1 to 5 trade. Okay, actually 1 to 3 if we adjust to where we could have possibly entered. Then if we had entered at the top here, probably we could still have held depending with how we were looking at it. But that's the basic setup. Let me just check where they're going. Are they going to the top zone there? Okay, we missed some good setups today. Okay, so we would have just went for that. B bottom, safe buy here, TP here. Yesterday's low here. EU, same setup with EU. Price moving at 15, 15, 15, 30, completing the W with a bullish engulfing on yesterday's lows. Targets, London highs. Would have probably targeted this. Why? That's because if we turn into a line chart, you see that's where the highest price was. So that's what I would have used is my take profit. Safe entry. Once you figure out that it's a W forming, the safe entry is at the close of this candle here, the bullish engulfing. So price is actually pushing down aggressively. I want to check if we cannot trade Nasdaq. So let me quickly mark this one. W, yesterday's lows, TP. Price has sort of tapped into this order block here. Right, price has tapped into that order block. H3, almost the same thing. M15, we're waiting for a reversal candle. M1, we're waiting for a structure to be broken. Structure is not clear. We drop to the line chart to look for something. We've got this. We've got this. TP on the flip zone. TP on the flip zone or on the 50 EMA. That will be my TP area if I decide to sell this one. So what do we have there? Break and a retest of a zone. So here's the thing, if this zone is not broken, it means the high is locked. So we're going to have our first sell on Nasdaq right now based on the break and retest of that structure. Okay, so we've got one position Nasdaq running. Reason of the sell, we've broken a structure, we've retested it here, but we can possibly have equal highs there. Equal highs at the top here. We've got a fair value gap in here. So for this setup to be valid, this level has to hold. It must not be broken. So let's see how this goes. Are we coming to break the next leg here? Once we break the next leg, I'll be sure we're coming down. So we'll simply be looking for an imbalance and order block or something we can use to actually take the sells. So we're currently in with one position. From entry, $50 would be somewhere here. So this would be a quick scalp for the first position. But let's see if the setup is holding first. This is a very early entry. Let's see how it goes. So we're looking at something like this. Stop loss on the equal highs. Scaling out at 50 points, which is somewhere here. And looking for, if the setup holds, looking for price to drop to this zone. So that will be a 1:5. So we active with one position now. Let's see how price goes. All right, so I was just updating in the groups as well. My views on this setup. So I've got one runner at this entry, stop loss just above the high. I've just scaled in now, so let's see if it will play out. If they break this zone, I'll look to add, then to hold until the second take profit is hit. So at 50 points, that's where we will scale out right here if it plays out. So let's see how it goes. I was anticipating sales. I am anticipating sales on this one. Somewhere in this area. So I've got sell positions here. Just want to see if this level is going to hold for sales. Or price actually wants to go up based on this break of structure, this break of structure, push up, price pulling back to feel some imbalances in the for push up. That's a possible move as well. But for now, I'm leaning on sales based on this ID50 here coming off this peak. 1350 cruise, 1350 cruise here. So this was a bit like a trend reset here. So pushing down, looking for a continuation of push down. So I'm seeing this as a retracement into this order block here for a continuation sell to the downside. So let's see if the zone holds, then we're going to sell. Okay, price is about to take us out. Let's see how it goes. So if they extend the high, another setup will form, and this current one will be invalid. Price still hasn't taken us out. You can see they haven't extended the highs. They gave equal highs. So let's see if we're going to push below this imbalance here we have. So if we come right here, if we, once we break that zone, I'm going to be looking to add more cells. So you can see prices are refusing to go below that zone. So this zone is still acting as a support zone here. We want price to close below for us to actually look for possibilities of adding positions, and we possibly want to see momentum and maybe a pullback for us to actually commit fully into the trade. So if price doesn't do what we have prepared for, it means we don't have a setup. This current setup will just hit stop loss here. And if they extend, we'll wait for another setup. It will simply mean we're not prepared. For now, we're not prepared for buys. I'm just anticipating sells. So if they play out how we anticipate, then I'll execute accordingly. But if they do other things, that will mean I don't have any other setup. I'll simply wait. So that's basically like the thought process going onto the running trade. How to manage it. Do we close? Do we add? Scale in, scale out? Nasdaq took us out. You see that it never came below the zone which we wanted, right? So they're extending the high, so we will look for another setup. So we've got buys here. Our target is here. We've got a 40 pip target, 2.5 lots times the 40 pip target. That means for every 10 pips, we get paid $25. Excuse me. For every 10 pips, we get paid $25. And we are also risking 10 pips on this trade. About 10 to 15 pips, so we're risking only 25 to about $35. So you can see we are already halfway towards our target. This trade was shared in the group. Everything is live. So we are almost onto our target. We just need one more spike. Our take profit is around 10 to 90, which is demarcated by this gray zone here. So again, in Forex, you win some, you lose some. Like you noticed, Nasdaq took us out. Although we had a win earlier, we had buys on GG. So this loss shouldn't affect us that much. We had buys on GG earlier. Just want to quickly show you the setup we had. So it was basically a flip zone buy based on the previous day's highs here being respected with a 50 EMA. So we bought right here. Our stop loss was right here. It almost got hit. And we targeted 20 pips from our entry, which means we took profit somewhere here. Right, and the setup then changed and it became a sell. We're already out, and we attempted Nasdaq. Nasdaq took us out on the first attempt. So we'll see, we might have another attempt on it. But for now, we've got this trade on B1000. What's the reason for us taking this trade? If you notice from the few screenshots I was showing you, we take our buys way liquidity is most likely to be. So liquidity is most likely to be on the previous day's low, which is yesterday's lows, or the previous day's highs, which is yesterday's highs. So once price comes to the yesterday's lows, we start looking for a pattern. In this example, we've got a W pattern with an extended leg. Saw it a bit late, so we entered here, which is still fine because a safe entry would have been here. So we are targeting the 50 EMA, yeah, or slightly above it to get our 40 pips. So let's see if we're going to hit TP. While I'm still on the session, then I'm going to show you the results. I exited here because price is sort of extending. So I'll see if they'll still react. Then maybe I'll still take it when they come back below the zone. So my money is only on B1 for now. And if we hit our target, I think that'll be it for today. We're also targeting this. You can see that zone there is also right where our target is. So why that area? Because if you quickly switch to a line chart, you see that was the last visible low on this downtrend here. So this could be something like this, which will play out, but we are only focused on this move. So let's see if we're going to hit our TP. We're about 20 pips away from our TP. Hopefully. Notice how this pullback came to retest this order block we had here. And we broke, went all the way to TP, came back to retest. Price still looks like it's pushing back up again. Look at the stop hunt here. We had an evening start already here. All right, price just spiked up a little bit to take out liquidity, then they melted down. So depending on how you view it, you can still enter right here. That's still fine. Safe entry. Stop loss above the high. TP. Almost 10 pips away from our targets. 10 pips away. I'm just going to complete this live session by, if the trade hits TP, that's when I'll end it. So for now, I'll just continue marking the flashcards for New York session and how we would have traded it. We didn't trade today because we had load shedding, so we didn't have electricity. Electricity only came back after the moves had happened. So we're just marking out flashcards. Yesterday's lows, we had a V bottom here. Asian lows, London lows, liquidity taken out, V bottom, safe entry here. Scale out here on this order block in case price hits and push down, which is also the 50 EMA. So that's a scale out point, and this is the ultimate TP on top there. So this particular one, it would have been a splendid setup if this moving average was here, and if this price action had happened here, it would have been a splendid setup. But if you notice, seems like they rejected off this OB here. $15.30 candle was here, broke outside aggressively, continued to push up. So this one, I'm not sure if we would have been able to catch it based on the things which we were looking for, but if we did, the best setup would have been looking like this. Stop loss outside that range, take profits, this high here. Right, something like that. If you notice here, we also had a flip zone yesterday, right? But it was towards the market close. So such setups usually I don't like to take, but the pattern was there. Even here, the pattern was there. So this has been, the indices have actually been giving clean buys. I think now we only had a loss because we traded against the trend and we didn't wait for a proper confirmation. And again, we were not really fully in. It was just the runner positions. So yeah, let me take a screenshot of this. Yesterday's highs, TP, OB. You can consider this a W, or you can consider this the W. Safe entry, late entry. Okay, NAS is on the same thing, same motion. Remember, we're trying to trade here. This is where we're trying to take a reversal from this push up. We wanted the reversal, or not the reversal, so the retracement to the push up. So we're going to target this as our TP or the 50 EMA as our TP, but it didn't happen. So sometimes it doesn't happen. Like if there's so much momentum in the market like this, it won't really happen. So this was more or less the same setup with US 500. To the left, same order block. We could have used TP from the London highs or this one up here. So you can see today's sessions, it's a pity we missed them because the price just moved fast. So it's just a pity we missed these ones. US 30, again, same setup. You see where we wanted to take the retracement on Nasdaq. You can see this almost played out. Almost played out. Let me actually see in terms of points if the pattern was actually there. Okay, 1634. We broke structure here. We never retested those. So this, I don't think we could have caught it because price really never came back. After breaking this structure, they really never came back to retest anything to complete this push down. But from where this candle closed to the lowest point where they got, okay, we're at about 650. Okay, so that's 65. That will count as 65 points on my scale. So the drop was actually almost there, but I don't think we would have caught it because our criteria items didn't present here. But yeah, that's what I would have been looking at. So for the buys, liquidity was taken 2:30 p.m., 15:15, bullish engulfing. TP would have been the London highs, which was right here. Or do we have something on the left here? Oh, I remember this was moving ugly last week here when the range came back down. Actually, I don't trade US 30 actively. If I did, I think I would have capitalized. But anyways, it's all good. It's all good. So price can potentially come back to a zone marked on the top there, or they are coming right here. This is where we might get some reversals right around 34,797 or 34,800. So that would have been a possible TP for this push. And again, we had a flip zone set up here. Price broke the previous day's highs, came back to retest them with a nice morning star pattern there, or a doji. Then they continued the push up. So that could have been another reason to enter right there. Then again, this side, do we have that order block where they tested? Yes, we do. So indices today, they had the same pattern. You might wonder why I'm doing this. I do this because I'm an intraday trader. I'm a day trader. So I mark out patterns based on a session and I use them as flashcards. Patterns, I just want to familiarize myself with the patterns and the timings. That's all. So when you see something happening in the future, it's pretty much easy to see it before it happens so that you can capitalize on the trades. Okay, our trade here has not yet reached our TP. You can see it sort of slowed down when it got here. Slow down a little bit. So let's see what they want to do. So the other reason why, if you follow us, we only sell the crash, meaning on the crashes, we only look for sell setups only. Then we only look for buys on the booms. The reason I trade this way is to just avoid getting caught unaware by like a spike. So spikes here, they move in the direction I trade in. So it's easy for me to monitor a trade. So our entries are here. We can simply move our stop loss here. We can move our stop loss here because we're monitoring price as it is moving. There will never be a spike just pushing down to take us out like without us preparing. So yeah, here we can, it's easy to monitor your stop loss if you're trailing your trade. I can even decide to put my stop loss right here, knowing that I'm just monitoring as the price is approaching. That should I hold it there or should I move it a little bit? Is there room for a retest? Should I put my stop loss here? Because there will never be a spike coming down because we are trading in the direction of the spikes. So let's see. We have our TP right there on the 200 EMA on M5. It will be awesome if our TP gets hit while we are on this live so that I can show you guys the whole process from before I take a trade, the reasons I take the trade, my thought process during the trade, and my reasoning, and actually closing the trade, whether in loss, break even, or in profit. If the setup is complete, it will be nice because you sort of get a glimpse of how we actually trade on a live market. So we literally need like one good spike to the upside to hit our TP because usually boom 1000. If you want to check if it's really moving, if you calculate the spikes, the size, you see that this one spike was 22 pips. It usually moves like in 20s or 15s. They can have smaller ones like this, which is about 5. But when it's really moving, it will throw bigger spikes like this one, 11. This one here was big, 25. So we're literally looking for one more bigger spike this stage. And if we can get one big one like 20 pips, then that'll get us straight to our target right there. So yeah, let me see if I can continue a little bit. Yeah, let me see if I can continue a little bit and see if we can actually go to hit our TP. So I've now moved. I'm trailing somewhere here in this region. Price can potentially still come and retest here before pushing up, so be in mind. So I'm just trying to make sure that I get at least half of my target in case this price doesn't get there and they want to melt again down. I need to at least take 50% of the total target which I was trying to aim for. So at 50%, that's where I scale out. That's how I'm trailing this one, this particular one. So it will all depend setup to setup. But for this particular one, that's how I'm approaching it. Okay, we took here. So again, there is a negative correlation between US30 and US CAD. That's why I see I pull them together. Most of the times when US30 is pushing up, USD CAD will be pushing down. So you can see here where the sell setup. Again, price was on yesterday's highs. We extended that high at 2 p.m. This is a variation of an M pattern. To confirm it, if I'm right, let's just put a line chart. You can see it's a bit of an ugly M there. Then they still came back below yesterday's highs, rejected. Also on the 50, this would have been a high probability sell. Let me actually see if I've got that in my notes. M15, break below, retest. Okay, this one I think I would have executed it 15. This was the pullback up. So my setup would have been somewhere in here. Let's just see if I was looking at it. So bear in mind also, I do not trade all these things. I've got a few items I trade personally. So yeah, this had a clean setup. The breaker structure, price pushes down to show it wants to go down. And this was 330 is 330 was here. They pushed up into this order block. So if I was not confident enough to take it here, then I would have waited for this push down and waited for price to come into an imbalance or into this order block here, or these equal highs or this order block here for a sell. So once I saw this rejection, then I would have executed a lovely sell trade here with a stop loss here, with my TP all the way. I would have used the Asian lows as my take profit, so my trade would have completed somewhere here. Bearing in mind that I also scale out at 20 pips. That's when I start scaling out. So 20 pips, where was 20 pips here? So from my entry area, this was going to be 40 pips to TP. So my 20 pips would have been somewhere here. So in one candle or in two candles, I would have been complete, or maybe three candles. But it's actually one because I would have entered in this pullback. So in one candle, I would have been done. I would have scaled out, then maybe I would have held a runner to complete this particular setup. So reason I take these flashcards, again, this is a variation of an M pattern, like I said. So you need to familiarize yourself with patterns if you are day trading, especially if you're trading during sessions. So my main sessions are New York session. That's when I try to look for my best setups or my best trades. That's why you see I'm only doing markups for only New York session. So this is USD CAD variation. Let me just, I don't really have to write this because once I see this green line, I know it represents the previous day's high. If there's a red line, this one on the bottom, it represents the yesterday's lows. Right, so I'll TP right here, entry right there, perfect variation of an M. So if you want an in-depth, okay, this is UC. If you want an in-depth information on the way I trade or how I'm marking up, how I come up with the setups, you can just hit me up, then we can discuss. I remember last year you got a nice trade, some point on USDs. I think it was this drop here. And again, price came into the zone, dropped again. And these 2 days I haven't looked at it yet. So looking at it today, let's see. Use this as a TP here. Price takes out liquidity. Pre-London, liquidity gets taken out. They come to the Asian highs, close to it. Then this is a flip zone area because this was the last previous day's lows, right? You can see this line here is this day's lows. So price came, extended the highs. Liquidity has been taken. 15:30 New York open by Q zone time. Then I could have executed possibly this one here. Stop was slightly above with the TP here. Again, quick trades. Today was going to be an awesome day. Quick trades. in and out, of the trades. Use it, sell. I think for today, that's it, because this video is about to be long now. So this price, it's refusing to get to our TP there. Let's see how M15 closes. Looks like it wants to be an evening star there, right on the 50 EMA, which is near this zone. They could push down without coming up. That's possible. So based on that information, I'm going to scale out and leave one runner. I think that's the best option. I'm going to update in the group as well. Then we're going to call it a day. So I hope this session was productive. I hope you picked up something of use. The runner has got a stop loss, which is like where I said my stop loss is right here. So bear in mind, they can still come down here, hit this previous day's low right there, and still push up even to this. So if we get a pattern here, we might still take a trade again. But for that, I'll advise in the group. So ladies and gentlemen, I hope you had a good one. If you have any additions, subtractions, something you want to discuss in terms of Forex, just hit me up and we can share some knowledge. Have a good one.